How's it going, YouTube? Recently, there's been a lot of complaints about the Rise of Bahamut meta. Now, I'm still having a lot of fun with the game. The game is not perfectly balanced, but no game really is. And with there being a new expansion every 3 months, the meta will rapidly shift anyway. But in this video, we're taking a look at some changes that I would make to the game right now. Now, side games have Nerf cards in the past, but it's really been in a pretty drastic situations. So this is more for fun than anything. But as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a like, give me a sub. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, before we get started with the list, I do want to point out that I am a control player myself. And most of the cards in the list are either aggro cards or combo cards. Now, I am trying not to be biased here as a control player, but I do think that through the history of the game, control decks have not really been that strong. They usually have pretty bad matchups against combo decks like D-Shift, which are pretty strong. For the most part, you always see people complain about aggro decks or combo decks, and this is kind of what the video is focused on that, so just keep that in mind. I'm okay with control decks having bad matchups against combo decks, things like that, but in the list here, it's mainly aggro and combo cards, so just keep that in mind, you know. Alright, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Number 5 on my list is Dance with Death. Dance with Death is a pretty strong card because not only does it give aggro decks a removal option, but it also pushes phase damage at the same time. And I think that might be a little bit too good. I think aggro decks should have to choose where they want to run removal or not. The fact that Dance with Death is kind of just auto-included in every aggro deck, because it's both damage and also burst. Having 20 life means that 2 damage is 10%. That is a lot. Dance with Death is a pretty strong card, I would say. Now, it's low on the list because I don't really have a clean way to nerf it, quote unquote. You can make it cost 6, but I don't know how it would be even playable. You can make it do like 1 damage, but then that feels kind of bad as well. Maybe a change could be that it doesn't just auto kill any follower, but it's something with like 5 health or less or something like that. But I do think Dance is a pretty good card, and I would be okay if it got nerfed. Number 4 on my list is Kiwi. Now keep in mind, this list is not only about Constructed, but also about Take 2. Shadow was in a pretty bad spot before the Bahamut expansion came out. And I think it's fair that they got a pretty strong card like Kiwi. He's a really strong card. I'd say he's the best Shadow card that came out in the Bahamut expansion. And I think he's okay for Constructed. He's a really good card, but he's okay. My gripe with Kiwi is that in Take 2, he's way too good. And mainly because of his rarity. So the change that I would do to Kiwi is I would make him a gold so that he's not as easily draftable. Shadow's already pretty good in Take 2. And right now you run into some crazy Shadow decks that have like 3 or 4 Kiwis, and in Take 2 it's so nasty. He gets like a 3 for 1 and you heal. It's a little bit too good in Take 2. I'm okay with the effect and the stats. I would just make it a gold. I think that would make it better for the game in general. Shadow would still be good in Take 2, but you wouldn't have that crazy Kiwi factor. Number 3 on my list is the Roach. The Roach is a really strong card, and right now it's used in a deck where by turn 7 or 8, from no board, you can use the Roaches to combo and do upwards from 15 plus damage, which is a little ridiculous, especially because of how consistent the deck is, because you can now search the Roach with Goblin Mage and Fina, so that's pretty nasty. The Roach has historically been really good in Shadowverse, and I think most people would agree that the Roach could probably be nerfed. It's always been a backbone of Forest decks. I think the problem with the Roach is more of the storm mechanic in general, which creates situations like this. Some changes that I've seen proposed to the Roach is you can make him 3 cost, which would essentially like kill him because it'd make it way harder to combo like any double Roach shenanigans. So that might be a little over nerf. Another nerf is you can make it have 0 attack instead of 1. And what this will do is every combo you do, for every Roach that you play, you would do 1 less damage. So instead of doing like, let's say 17, you would do 15 instead. Now that would be a nerf, but I'm not sure that that would be enough. I think the Roach is really just, it's a really good card. Personally, I would kind of change the storm mechanic, but that's kind of a whole nother issue. So I guess making the Roach cost 3 would be good enough for now. I think the Roach is pretty good. Could stand to see a little nerf. Number 2 on my list is everybody's favorite card, Time Worn Mage Levi. I think Levi might easily be the best card in the game. What makes Levi so strong is that he's a 2-drop with premium 2-drop stats, right? 2 for 2/2. He evils for +2/+2, which is pretty good. And then the effect that he gets is absolutely insane. You get a Crimson Sorcery, which is a 1 play point, deal 3 damage spell that can go face, minions. The fact that Levi costs 2, the spell can go face, it boosts your hand. I mean, we can go on and on here. Levi is way too good. He is way too good. The nerf proposed, I would say, is either make it so he only gets +1/+1 on his evo, like most minions that have an evo effect do, right? Not clear why Levi doesn't have that to begin with. Or you could also make the Crimson Sorcery either cost 2 or not be able to go face or only do 2 damage. Any of those would make Levi way more wearable. He is really strong, and I think he might be the best card in the game. And I think most people would agree right now that Levi should definitely get nerfed. And number 1 on my list is Dimension Shift, the one card in the game that I actually really dislike playing against. As I said before, I really still have a lot of fun with the game. And even when cards are broken as hell like Levi, you know, it's still fine. You have that fun interaction. But Dimension Shift is a card that I really dislike. I dislike the design of the card. It's one of those cards where it's not even about the win rate. The Dish Shift deck sometimes is the best deck in the game. Sometimes it's not so much. It depends on how the meta is. But that doesn't really matter. Because anytime that I play against D-Shift, I have no fun playing that game. I feel like the game is out of my control. It doesn't matter how I play, what I do. Instead of being a game where I interact with my opponent's board, we go back and forth and, you know, play a 2-player game. It turns the game into my opponent plays Solitaire. He draws a good card, he draws a good hand, then he beats me, or he draws bad and I beat him. It's not even like how I play him. I don't like the design of D-Shift. I'm okay with combo decks being control decks. I'm fine with that. But at least against the other combo decks like Seraph or the Roach, you know, there's some counterplay to it. You can ward up, you can Odin, stuff like that. D-Shift is not fun, not interactive. And if I could only change one card in the game, it would be D-Shift. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the list. If you guys like something like this, in the future I might do a top 5 cards that I would buff. So let me know if you guys would like to see something like that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video.